So guys, the Nigerian military is now begging Igbo youths to join the army, and the internet is on fire. People are asking, where were the Igbos when top national positions were shared, like the EFCC, NNPC, security chiefs? No Igbos there. Now you want them to fight and buy for a country that never fought for them. Some are saying this is a setup. Others are saying fix the system first. Treat soldiers right. Treat the Igbos with respect. Then maybe, just maybe, they will consider it. Because right now, their trust in Nigerian system is gone. And you can't serve a country that doesn't see you. And this has led to so many reactions online, which we will be watching right now.
I don't know if you have heard this one. This one is breaking out. This one is fresh, undiluted. So the Nigerian army, they beg the Eastern youth to join the military. They say come and join army. The Nigerian army is telling the youth from the east to join the military. Is it not funny to you? Bro, the seven are going to join army. Igbo youth, come and join the military. Come and join the military. That is what the Nigerian army is telling the Igbo youth. Why is the EFCC not saying Nigeria Igbo youth come and join the EFCC? Why is the NNPC not saying Igbo youth come and join NNPC? Why is the custom not also advertising and calling the Igbo youth to come and join a custom? Or is it just Nigerian army? Nigerian army is not about calling the Igbo youth to come and join army. The ones there, are they being treated well? When they treat the military, are they being treated well? Are the ones there giving their lives, are they being treated well? I have cases of military suffering in that 44 national hospital there. Those ones fighting for this country. Yes, so many of them are there suffering, buying drugs from their own pockets. This is not, I said it before, they came for me, the military debunk it. But what I was telling you in that video is fact. Those guys in the 44 army resources are buying drugs from their pocket, and now you're here calling other people to come and join. Bro, if the military is paying fine, US recruit foreigners. You don't get, because why? The pay is nice. They recruit foreigners. Foreigners join the military. In UK, in Ukraine, in other countries, even in a war zone, the foreigners join. Why? Because the pay is very lucrative, it's very sweet. So if your pay is very sweet, if the military pay is very sweet, who will not join? There's no point of you calling people to come and join. They will join without you even calling. Not this one that you pay. How much is their salary? How many of them have gotten their bonuses? I have complaints from the military personnel that their bonuses have not been paid. They have not been paid their bonuses. And they are there giving their life for this nation, giving their life for Nigeria, giving their life for this country. And you are telling the other people to come and join. Whereas the ones that have joined, you have not taken care of them properly. They are not being taken care of. So guys, this your call for the Eastern people to join the military is, for me, is a for sec winner. For sec.
History, and I dare say yours, tells me that the southeast zone of Nigeria predominated the officer corps of the Nigerian army before January 15, 1966. All that fizzled out after our 30-month avoidable civil war. Now, the Nigerian army has expressed concerns that youths from the zone are shunning recruitment into the army, and has highlighted the need for sensitization. But the team leader of the year 2025 Nigerian Army Recruitment Awareness Team, himself a Southeasterner, Brigadier General Chima Ekafo, is in the region in a bid to change the narrative. He was at Umuahia to sensitize youths on the importance of taking up the slots allocated to the zone. Over now to the power of conviction.
It is understandable that people from the Southeast are reluctant to join the Nigerian army, because when you join the army, you are laying your life down for the flag.
Yeah. And
because of these Biafran sentiments, some of them believe that they don't want to join and fight for the Nigerian state. But it's unfortunate because 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, when there is need to appoint officer corps at the top of the Nigerian army, they would solidly discover that they don't have officers at the table
within their ranks,
and then they will now complain again of marginalization, of how they have not appointed somebody from Southeast as a top army general.
Yeah.
But if you don't join, you cannot have the opportunity of rising through the ranks to get to the top of it. So they have to look at that. You cannot say because you are upset with the Nigerian state or because you are desirous of Biafran state, you will now let this opportunity pass to join the Nigerian army. Because if you don't join the Nigerian army, the army will move forward and put people from other regions, and eventually these people will move up the ladder, and then they will get to the top, and they will be the one that can be appointed into positions. So it is important for leaders and leaders of thought in the East to sensitize their youth to know that it is important for them to be part of the army, the Nigerian army, because as a component part of Nigeria, their interest in the Nigerian army is also important. It's unfortunate what has happened because, like the news said, they used to dominate the Nigerian army. Before 1966 coup, they used to dominate the Nigerian army
meritoriously
because a lot of them joined. A lot of them went to when the colonial masters were here, and they were recruiting like this. At that time, the Western region were not so enthusiastic in joining. It's just like the same thing that was happening now.
As a matter of fact, because of the preponderance of officers from the southeast region, then the late Sadaunas said to his boys, "You people join the army."
Yes, in fact, we're going to schools to recruit young people. People like President Buhari were recruited in schools because at that time a lot of the regions were reluctant to join the colonial army. And it was the southeast that were really joined, and they benefited from it because as at the time we got the independence, most of the commanders were from the southeast region. But because of the war, and they had to go back to the east, and by the time they came back, they didn't have the kind of opportunity they used to have. So it's important for us not to make that kind of mistake again. The war has ended a long time ago. As far as I'm concerned, there is no Biafra on ground. It can be a dream, but there's no Biafra on ground. So for you to prefer to be loyal to the Biafran flag instead of Nigerian flag is delusional. So it is important to exercise the youth to say it is important for you to join the Nigerian army, because like I said, 20 years, 30 years down the line, we will not be at the table when they are appointing people that will control and supervise the Nigerian army. At that time, they should not come out to say they are being marginalized, because if you are not at the table, there is no way you can be in a position of authority.
Well, a good thing that an officer, a brigadier general from the southeast region, for those who missed it, Brigadier General Chima Ekafor is in the region in a bid to convince youths there, please come join the army. There are allocations for the region.
Well, I think just like Mayor has said, there are a lot of reasons why the enthusiasm is low in joining the Nigerian army.
Understandably so.
Yes, I think in the first instance, he said, the Brigadier General said that in Abia State, for instance, out of 200 slots that were given to Abia State, only 53 people applied. That's less than 25, roughly 25% of the population of the slot given to Abia State. And that's not a good one at all. I believe there are so many reasons, apart from the fact that the spirit of nationalism has declined over the years. In the past, the spirit to serve Nigeria, was very high all over the country. But now, it's not just
otherwise donning the Nigerian uniform, the army uniform, police.
It was a source of pride, But now you discover that even when we were growing up, we wanted to go to University of Maiduguri, ABU. You want to do your service, you want to go to Sokoto. But now you discover that people are shrinking. You want your for security reasons, you want your son to go to the nearest university. You want him to do his civil service. You put him in another state. You want to rejoin him back to your state. So there is a general decline in terms of the spirit of nationalism in the country. We can't throw that away. The other reason is that the Nigerian army, a lot of people think that because of the asymmetric war that is going on all over the country now, there is a prospect of being posted to, trouble areas, that immediately after your training, you may be compared to go and fight terrorism. And a lot of parents, not even the youth alone, they don't want their children to go into such, unlike maybe 25 years ago. You are joining the army for a different reason. You are thinking of going to NDA, going for courses abroad and all that. But now, you know that when you join the army, there is a likelihood that after the first 6 months, you might be, seconding into this. So, but I think it's important to educate our people because there are consequences in the future if they are not able to meet up with their quota.
Okay, it's time now to fall back on team leader Babajide Kolade Otitoju. BKO, Just wondering how you weigh in here.
I think that the Biafra agitation has a role to play in this state of affairs. People are reluctant to join the army. If outside of the southeast, people are struggling to join the army. I know some of those who have reached out to me, how do I get in? But this is a peculiar situation in the southeast. Don't forget too that even when the idea of the students' loan came, the leadership of NEL Fund complained that in the southeast, people refused to apply for students' loan. The bulk of the people, many of the people who applied were actually from the far north.
Wow.
But people in the southeast refused to apply. They looked at the number of people who applied from the schools in the southeast. It was a very infinitesimal number. And Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, was so concerned. And he was asking, what really is the reason? This is something that indigent students can benefit from. And it's not as if every student in the southeast is rich, lives in luxury. So an opportunity to be able to get educated without having to spend so much. The people didn't apply. What they then did was to say, okay, let's sensitize them for that. Let's break it down for them. Let them realize that, look, there's a lot to gain. My suspicion is that they just refused to apply because they just felt, look, this thing will not work. The sort of tales that we read on social media whereby every effort that government makes get dismissed. We have educated people abroad who are trained here in Nigeria, who are using the certificates that universities in Nigeria gave them to live and work abroad. But they are putting down everything Nigerian. They do not see anything good about our country. So when the policy comes, is introduced, they say, no, it cannot work. My suspicion is that level of pessimism, or a lot worse level of pessimism, has been introduced to even recruitment into the army. How do you explain, for example, a situation in which Abia State had 200 slots and only about 50 took it up? That was last year. Whereas the other states are eager to join the army. They are not even saying no, they could end up being drafted to the war. If you join the army, you know that ultimately you have to fight in a war, either in form of peacekeeping. It is something that you sign to do.
Yeah.
So death will come. Most times, death will not find you on your bed. Death will find you maybe on the battleground or somewhere else. Those who died yesterday in Borno State, some of them were on the road. So I believe that the sensitization will help. The last time we had a Southeasterner as Chief of Army Staff was during the time of General Hejrika. And at that time, it was Jonathan that was in power. So I also think that when they see some of their people getting to the very top, they see more of them getting to the very top. The Chief of Naval Staff, for example, is from the Southeast. Although some people are telling us all that nonsense that is actually from Kogi and all that. It's nonsense. It's from the Southeast. So if more service chiefs come from the Southeast, maybe in future things will begin to change. But there's a general apathy, and that has to be addressed. And speaking politically now, the concerns of our people in the Southeast about the way they've been placed within the Nigerian Federation has to be addressed. Once that is addressed, these issues will not come up.
Thank you very kindly. Thank you very kindly.
Now that you have seen the clip, let's really unpack this. Honestly, guys, I don't even know what to say. What do you think about what we've just watched? The idea of Igbo youths rejecting recruitment into the Nigerian military has sparked a lot of heated opinions. Some people have come out boldly asking some very critical questions like, why are the Igbos being asked to join the military right now? Where were they when appointments were being made in top federal agencies like the EFCC, the NNPC, or when it came to appointing national security chiefs. You see that guy in the video saying, why should they join now? He's not alone. Many feel like it's suddenly convenient to remember the Southeast when there is a manpower crisis in the army. But when it's time to share power, opportunities, and key national positions, the Igbo voice is mysteriously left out. It is as if they are good enough to fight and buy, but not good enough to lead. That is the sentiment being shared. One person went as far as calling out Udume, who claimed the military is suffering from a lack of manpower. This person accused him of potentially leaking sensitive intel to insurgents, saying that by going public with this kind of weakness, he's giving groups like Boko Haram the morale boost they need to fight harder, knowing that the Nigerian military is struggling. Now, think about that for a second. If Boko Haram hears that the military is short-staffed, won't they feel more confident to push their agenda? It's like giving your enemies a strategy guide for free. Now, another user raised a valid concern saying all the young men who have already joined the military, are they being well taken care of? We have seen heartbreaking stories of soldiers who can't even afford transport to return home after service. Meanwhile, politicians are living the good life, balling on fat allowances and luxury lifestyles, while the people who put their lives on the line for this country are barely surviving. Isn't that crazy? Now, suddenly the same system that neglects its military heroes is calling on the Igbos to join. But do they treat them with the dignity they deserve? Do they treat their families with respect? These are the hard questions people are asking. Let's be real, guys. Can you blame the Igbo youth for saying no to this? Because for decades, they have been labeled, marginalized, and seen as outsiders in their own country. And now, these same people are being asked to risk their lives to defend a system that has consistently denied them equal rights and opportunities. Some even say the goal has always been to silence the Southeast, but the truth is the Igbos have refused to be crushed. They are resilient, they are strong, and they have made it clear they want out, they want to be heard, they want their own voice, their own identity. But instead of listening, the system keeps tightening the grip. No justice, no inclusion, and now an invitation to join the army. It's going to be a hard sell, guys. Many Igbos have simply lost faith in the Nigerian system, and unless the current government under President Tinubu makes real and deliberate efforts to rebuild the trust and include the Southeast in the national conversation, things may never change. So over to you guys. What do you think about all this? Do you believe the military's plea will change anything? Do you think the government is serious about inclusion, or is this just another political ploy or strategy? Let's get talking in the comment section below. I will be reading all your thoughts, so don't hold back. And please don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And please always remember to stay informed, stay safe, and as always, God bless you all.